Okay, so first on the list, we have the Hampton High School Leadership Program and Workshop. So, welcome and thank you. You guys contributed to our fun at the Bowl-a-thon, and we certainly appreciate everything and love to give you the results of our Bowl-a-thon, but we would like you to take a minute and tell you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks very much. Really appreciate it. Thanks to all of you. I'm a little underdressed today. I apologize, but we're proud chiefs, and I've got 3 of the most outstanding chiefs you could ever hope to see. Claudia Ockert, Samantha Pittman, and Emily O'Connor, and I'm going to let them talk to us a little bit about Leadership Workshop and how much this means to us.
Thank you all for this generous gift. Leadership Workshop would not happen without any of the contributions of the community. And it is for the community, really. It's for the students. And we have 2 of our students here, 2 of our student leaders, actually, who put on all of what Leadership Workshop is, so they'll tell you all about what it is.
Okay, I'm Samantha Pittman.
I'm Emily O'Connor.
And we'd first like to thank you guys for your contribution, because it really means a lot to us, because with your help we know that as we graduate that the program will continue after we leave.
For those of you who don't know what Leadership Workshop is, every year the Leadership Workshop staff of about 27 or 30 people take 120 freshmen, sophomores, and juniors to Triple R Ranch for 3 days, where they're split up into councils that they spend the weekend with, and they learn team building skills, communication skills, how to get along with others, and overall leadership skills to become the future leaders of not only Kempsville High School, but the surrounding community as well.
We have in the last 2 years done community service projects both with the SPCA and the FACT, which is the autism group here. So we do a lot of work giving back to the community just with the delegates too. And yeah.
So thank you again for your contribution. We really appreciate it.
And we have, on the other high school side, we have Lansdowne High School Governor's STEM Academy.
Well, this end is up there. Just one little tidbit. Great to have you with us. Sorry that John Moore, who is the official sponsor, coordinator, could not make it. As you know, he's recovering from a little surgery. Another scout item. Lisette and her sister are Gold Award, and the 4 brothers are all Eagle Scouts.
Let me begin first of all. I just want to thank you all for just inviting us to come to your meetings. I've had the privilege of being here many, many times. It's a highlight of my week when I know on Friday morning I'm going to get to join y'all. You're just a very invigorating group to be with. It brings, when in the conversations we talk about so many things from scouting to some histrionics about the area and so forth, and it's just a refreshing pleasure for me personally to be able to come and spend some time with y'all. But now let's talk about Lansdowne High School and the Governor's STEM Academy. I promised that what I would share today with the group, because I'm oftentimes asked, what does the money that we give you go towards? We're a pretty diverse program, and we have a lot of things going on. But for many years, you have supported us, and the monies that you donate to our organization go specifically to help with the recruitment of females in engineering and sustaining them in that field. Years ago, I told you about an organization we began with your help called Lady Eagle Engineers. We call them the League Group. This was a group that started in our high school of girls in the engineering department that wanted to begin to foster the idea of engineering in younger girls in the middle school and the elementary. And over the years now, they have literally mentored hundreds and hundreds of students in our elementary and middle schools. They have gone there and done projects with them. They've attended evening events like PTSAs and open houses, taking robots with them. We've had the girls come over to our school and work with them in their labs, putting things together and then seeing what the lab environment is like, and just kind of spending not a whole day in the life, but a little bit of time in the life of a female engineer student in a high school setting to see what it's all about. And it's interesting because now we've been doing it long enough that we actually have some of those students in our program now. This year we had a very unique opportunity because we compete in something called FIRST Robotics, and there's an FTC level and an FRC level. Our girls got together this year and wanted to do an all-girl team. And this was a team composed of girls currently that have been in our program, seniors, and some of the ones that we have fostered and brought in from the middle school. I'm proud to tell you that in the regional competition, they won not only first place overall, but first place in all 5 rounds. Wow. And then they went on and they placed overall 7th in the final competition. So we were very, very proud of them, and as were they, because they also had 3 kind of all-boy teams that they beat them out from our school. So again, the funds are greatly appreciated by the young ladies. They'd be here themselves, but they're all in AP classes, and they're actually, our FRC team is preparing tonight. We head to Portsmouth. We will be there for the next 3 days, all through the weekend, competing in yet another competition. So your funds are well used and well appreciated, and we just, again, I want to say thank you for all of your help and support with our ladies in our STEM engineering program.
And you'll be happy to know that you're sitting at the table with one of the most prominent female engineers in Tidewater, our And so, Ed Mark.
You're likely to show up on our Facebook.
Okay.
That's okay.
We're fine.
Because we want to be able to share the good work of what Rotary does in Hampton Roads, and if we don't get the word out, who else is going to do it? So anyway, but
And we appreciate it.
well, everything that you all do, from helping us connect with Lansdowne High School, for instance, and the students there that I worked with this past weekend, that they helped us do an Easter egg hunt and a spring fling for our kids at Edmark Hospice for Children. There's so much that we do. I feel like I have been a part of this group for a really long time, and it feels great. And as I was getting ready this morning, I thought, I was actually really looking forward to something, and I missed it. Was I out there when y'all sang?
Yes.
We can sing again. I was getting ready this morning, and I thought, I'm about ready to go and meet with one of the best Rotary clubs in Hampton Roads.
Wow.
And
Do it.
no, really.
Daddy with us, won't you come back again? Our club is a welcome to all you loyal friends. We ask you all to do your part and live your Rotary in your heart. And to your 4-way test be true. Please come again, please do.
That has just made my day. Y'all gave me chills. Y'all were on key. This is fantastic.
I don't know about on key.
There isn't another greeting like this in Hampton Roads, and I'll tell you, and I know I'm looking at some of our other nonprofit partners, you can probably attest to this, that wherever you go, you're greeted, but this greeting stands apart from everyone. And I think that probably speaks volumes for the work and the impact that you have in Hampton Roads. And on organizations like Edmark Hospice for Children, being able to work with these children day in and day out, there are some highs and there are certainly some lows. And you all aren't there with us in the homes. You may not be there with us when we're doing our spring fling, or we're playing Easter Bunny this weekend to deliver all their Easter baskets. But you are there because you know this work is important, and you know that there are qualified and capable professionals to do this work, and you raise money, you raise awareness about the good things that are going on in the region, and you give it back so that we and so many others can continue doing the work that you want us to do. So it is with extreme heartfelt thanks on behalf of Edmark, but on behalf of the 72 kids that we have in our program. That number has grown drastically. I think I've known you all now for about 14 years. When I first came, our census was about 22. Today it's 72. We have 2 admissions pending. our census continues to grow. We're looking at geographic expansion. I really want to close our doors, lock them and never be needed, but I don't believe that's going to happen. So in addition to those 72 families that you're reaching out to and helping every day, there are also 164 in our bereavement program and also 32 in our outreach bereavement program. This is all done with 14 staff members, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So I suppose you all know that this money will go a really long way. So thank you on behalf of all the kids, all the families, because this really means the world to us.
And we have the Virginia Veteran and Family Support, formerly known as
The Virginia Wounded Warrior Program.
Oh,
Jack Hilgers would be here. This is one of his favorite causes. But we're also well aware of military in Hampton Roads, particularly the family members. And Carol Berg has been with the organization forever, over 20 years now.
No, not with this organization, but in Hampton Roads.
Hampton Roads, doing this kind of thing. But for the Virginia Veteran and Family Support, Carol Berg.
Thank you very much. As was mentioned, we are no longer the Virginia Wounded Warrior Program. We changed our name for a number of reasons. And one of the biggest reasons we went to Virginia Veteran and Family Support is we wanted our veteran community and our military to realize that we serve more than just wounded warriors. We serve veterans and we serve the families, because as those of you I know who have participated as part of the military know, the military member is not the only person that's in the military or that works that service and sacrifice. It's their family members as well. So Virginia Veteran and Family Support is a state agency, but under the opportunities that we have as a state agency, Jack, as you know, serves as the executive director of the Veterans Services Foundation for the state of Virginia. So all of the donations that my agency receives as a state agency goes to the Veterans Services Foundation, and what we're also proud to say is 100% of your donation goes back to our veterans and their families. We have no overhead because Jack's organization, the foundation, is all volunteer. So we are able to take this entire contribution and go back and support the needs of our veteran families. We have close to 400,000 veterans who reside in the Hampton Roads area. We are the largest area in the state of Virginia with the number of veterans in our population. But what that also means is we have a higher incidence of homeless veteran families. 45% of the homeless individuals in the state of Virginia reside in Hampton Roads, and 1 in 10 of that 45% is a veteran family. So our goal is to make sure that all of our veterans and their family members have access to their health and behavioral health care, and that includes providing behavioral health for children that have been impacted by whether it's the military relationship they have with the family, coping with the deployments of a family member, or even coping with the individual needs that they may have, possibly as a result of their family member coming back with invisible wounds, PTSD, TBI, or even a physical disability. So our program is there to provide access to behavioral health and health care, access to rehabilitative services for our traumatic brain injury survivors, and also to make sure that we have that connection to care in the community so that our veterans have access to all of the resources that they need for their families. Coming up in August, we have a program called Mission Healthy Families. We will be hosting up to 20 families up at the Williamsburg Christian Retreat Center and having a free weekend of events for them so that the families can connect, they can take some program training, learn how to be a more resilient opportunity for their family, how to get engaged, and how to bring that family unit closer together. We have partners around the state from Virginia Commonwealth University and from Team YES down in North Carolina that come up and spend that weekend and provide services for our military families to make sure that that connection is maintained and that we provide as best we can for the needs. This donation is going to be put to great use. I want to thank everybody for all that you do for your community. You are an awesome group, and I want to thank you for everything that you do because you truly make a difference here in Hampton Roads. Thank you.
And we want to thank you for joining us today. It's always a pleasure. Our team was awesome at the Bowl-a-thon. They worked for months ahead of time to be able to present this. And this is kind of our financial side that we're able to give to the families and the youth. That is our mission and our goal and our vision. But then there's the sweat equity side that we give a lot of that, and Paul's going to talk about one of those projects.
Paul's not going to just talk about one of them. Paul's going to talk about a couple of them. We have given checks to numerous organizations as a result of our very successful Bowl-a-thon. We give other things. Trish, I'm going to call on you to share what we gave to SeaTac Elementary School for 8 weeks. Could you just share a couple of thoughts there, please, ma'am? And she's caught totally off.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for this one, but.
She's quick on her feet, though.
Oh, yeah. We work with second graders who have reading issues, and we let them read to us and help them with various words and listen to them. Because a lot of them have a story they need to tell, and having a sensitive ear to talk to gives them a chance to say things, to tell us about their family life and issues that they have as well. So I think a lot of us are doing therapy with these kids in addition to working with them and reading with them. And we do see in the reading from day 1 to day 8 week the difference as they progress with their reading and improve. It's very rewarding.
Thank you, Trish. This club has a history of working with children. Many of our efforts are children-based. And one of the things that your leadership team is trying to work through is a strategic plan. And one thing we as a club are going to have to grapple with is our impact within our community going to be for children, or is it going to be broader, or is it going to be more narrow? It's some decisions that we are in the process of making and giving every one of the Rotarians an opportunity to put forward their ideas along these lines. There's another place that we have already given the proceeds, so we don't have an envelope for what we do with the Norfolk school system. And many of the members, just raise your hand if you've ever seen and given one of these to a child. Yeah, that's a pretty significant part of our club. We give third graders in the Norfolk school system a dictionary. For many of them, it's the only book that they've ever received. And Canice came up with a thing that I'm going to ask her to read. But first, Canice, would you bring this assistant principal forward, please?
Not the whole book, Canice.
Unless you're really good.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Felleton, who is the assistant principal at Fairlawn Elementary. She's been there for 3 years, and she is representing. Okay, thank you. She is actually representing one of the schools that we are so thrilled that we have adopted. I am going to read the piece. Thank you, Paul. But before I do that, I would like to ask Mrs. Felleton just to give some brief remarks about what this program is meant for you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been in Norfolk for 20 years, a teacher within Norfolk for 20 years, and one of the greatest barriers our children face are access to literature at home and vocabulary. And without an adequate vocabulary, our children struggle with reading, our children struggle with writing, our children struggle with communicating in an effective manner. The dictionaries that are shared with our children start in 3rd grade
but you do see them as they become ratty and tatty in the 5th grade classrooms. They rip them out of their desks and they got them. But it is important because as our children learn how to write and communicate to write, they rely on a resource to do that. And I was with a 3rd grade student the other day, and they were writing and trying to find a word that meant something for excited. And I said, well, what does excited mean? And she, well, happy. I said, well, let's go to the dictionary. And she pulled that dictionary out. She knew how to get to it. She knew how to find it. And it helped her. I had a student in my office, and unfortunately one of the things I do have to do is discipline. And I had the dictionary, and the little girl said, you know what, they think you're being flippant. And the child looked at me and says, what does that mean? I said, well, here's a dictionary. She goes, okay, and she flipped through it. So, you know, the access to that is very important to our children. And we are an AVID school. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. Our children set their own goals, and our children strive to be college and career ready. And to do that, they do a lot of writing to learn, and they need access to how to revise, how to edit, how to access vocabulary at an advanced level. And so providing the books to our children is the first step in teaching them how to be independently accountable and how to grow and love the language that we all speak and we need to write to communicate. So again, we thank you for that contribution.
This year we added a new component to the dictionary distribution, and we expanded the program to actually become a literacy pack. And what that meant was they got the dictionary, but they also received a copy of a book that I wrote, a children's book called Keep Your Chin Up. And at every one of our dictionary distributions, actually since I've been involved, someone, I can't even remember the first time that we did it, and someone asked if I would read this poem. And then it kind of became a tradition that with all of our dictionary distributions, if I were there, if I was going to be there, that I would read this poem. So today, you all get to be my 3rd graders, which I love. I really do. I love, this program means a lot to me. I'm very emotional about it, very passionate about it. But the poem is called Keep Your Chin Up. The book was illustrated by 9 Hampton Roads students, so that's important. You need to know that. This is one of the illustrations. Isn't this fantastic? And this is for the piece that I'm getting ready to read called Keep Your Chin Up. No matter where you go, don't be afraid and drop your head. When your chin is down low, you can see nothing but the ground. If you have a dream or a goal, keep your chin up and focus until you reach it. No matter what people say, hold your head up. When you hold your head high, you can see better, you can hear better, you can smell better, you can even taste better. Yes, all in all, your senses just seem to work better when your chin is in the air. So keep your chin up for the whole world to see. No matter what others do, you do the right thing. It's the chin-uppers who are kind, courteous, and work hard to make things happen. The person that keeps their chin up is the one who stands straight and tall and does the right thing no matter what. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, and no matter what you're told. Don't be afraid. Hold your head high. Do the right thing. Keep your chin up. The world is waiting for you to do your thing. The end.
I came over to this table for a reason.
Wondered where you went.
In 1971, I joined the faculty at Kempsville High School as an Alpha 2 trig teacher and math analysis pre-calculus teacher. 2 years later, I relieved Alice West as the coordinator of student activities, and I kept 5 classes to teach at the same time. The principal asked me, Paul, would you put together a leadership workshop for Kempsville High School? I said, what are you talking about? And he said, we've got an opportunity to train the leaders that we have in the 3 grades. Stay there. sophomore, junior, senior. And I said, okay, what kind of a budget have I got? He said, I think I can give you $100. I said, that ought to do it. And I decided that using the current leaders as a staff would not be productive. So I went to the leaders that came out of the graduating class, and I approached a dozen of them and said, let's put something together. Well, what are you talking about? I said, I really don't know. But the group of us together can come up with some kind of a leadership workshop. We did it at the school itself. We started on a Friday afternoon, went till midnight. They came back at 7 o'clock the next morning, and we went to midnight. And we built bonfires out on a football field. We had huge bonfires. We had some that Boy Scouts would be jealous of. And probably would say, you put what on that to get that thing going? But the thrilling thing is that the leadership workshop is still being done at Council High School. And we're honored to be able to present you with a little bit of funds. So I suspect it costs a little more than $100. Just a little bit. That's a little bit of me. Peter?
I was going to ask committees, if we want to get some of those books for our grandkids, how do we get those?
You can see me, or either you can go online at my company's www.theplatinumgroup, but it's spelled P-L-A-T-T. INUMgroup.com.
Her last name is Platt. Joe. This is a little trip report.
This is the trip report. As some of you realize, I've been on the road a little bit, and when I'm on the road, I come back and make some remarks and give out some goodies. I, again, spared no expense. It started in February. I went to Cincinnati, Ohio, to something called the North American Youth Exchange Network. I was the President Robbie's representative and spoke there. And then I went from there to, I have to stop to think, to the metropolis of Chantilly, Northern Virginia, back to Chicago for about 6 days, and then most recently to Jacksonville, Florida. In most of these places, I have an opportunity to say a few words. And with that in mind, I have to sincerely thank Chan, who is my proofreader and creator of English grammar and a few other things that I am shy of. And incidentally, where do I get not the book, but the dictionary? I need so Chan, thank you very much. And I'll get these back eventually, but this is the program from what do you call it, from the thing in Cincinnati. And that's the hotel where it was built in 1930. And you're not about historian, you appreciate that.
One New Englander relying on another.
One New England to another. And incidentally, North American Youth Exchange Network consists of adults who run the program from Canada, Mexico, and the USA. But it also, the conference included people from all over the world. And there were 66 people from Brazil. I mean, it was an education in itself, very much of an education for me. I'll tell one side story. I'd like to hear the side story. I was conferring with a group of Brazilians, and I asked one lady how many Brazilians were there, and she said 66. And that gives you an idea of where people came from in numbers from all over the world. And being typical whatever, she bent over to me and she says, we have many more than the Mexicans here. So being smart, I always took awareness of who I was talking to about what. So that was quite an event. So I have some presenters there. When you're there, you swap things and everything else and whatever. Now, I'm not sure what this is. I have an idea. Any idea?
Cheese
what
board.
Cheese board. It's a cheese board. You said cheese board first, I think. You know you won first prize, you won second prize, which is truth.
You can never have too much cheese.
Okay, and then we have a, I guess, I thought it was a calendar at first. No, it's just a Where?
Oh, notebook.
Oh, you won the prize. Yeah. Hey, was she right? Is that in fact a notebook?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, for you. You said yes. Okay. Anybody here from Ohio?
Not that I'll admit to.
At least one person from Ohio.
Phil raises his hand.
I know, I said at least one person.
David.
And this is the presenter that they swapped somebody from District 6600 in Ohio. And of course, Ohio is the Buckeye State.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, give me a...
Yeah, right. 2 years in Columbus. But,
Yeah, they got
Okay,
the.
down to the bottom sentence. The enclosed Buckeye candies resemble the nut of the Buckeye tree and are particularly popular in Ohio and neighboring states.
Chocolate, nothing better.
You're so lucky. I happen to have two of those things from Ohio.
Yeah. Buckeyes are
Okay.
usually not quite so flat, but
Now, the other thing is that we have 3 students here, right?
two.
Two. Oh, okay, that's good. I counted right. Okay, the North American Youth Exchange Network. You go on Rotary.org, Rotary.org, Google NAYEM. You'll be amazed. And there's opportunities for youth. And one opportunity was go to a foreign country for 12 months as a youth exchange.
You need to hand them to the right two, Joe.
Now you have okay, that's good. But Google that. You'll be amazed what opportunities there are for non-Rotarians. Okay. Now here's the last one. I often do this, and this is a card from a Rotarian from Thailand. And I often give one of these to somebody who's a new member. Brian is the only one who got a new card from me that actually did what I asked. That was to Google that district. Find out what they're doing in Thailand at that district. You want to do that? And normally I get a report back, but you don't have to worry about that.
That's my homework. Okay.
Now I went to Chantilly, Virginia. I didn't bring anything back from there.
Brought back Mary.
I went to Evanston, and I brought back 4 Rotary pens. Pencils. That's very good. That is the very first test that Tim Scott ever passed. Google Rotary.org. You'd be surprised what you can find on there how to become a Rotarian. Yes. Okay. Did I miss somebody? Oh, even accept school principal. Okay. Then I went to Jacksonville, Florida, and one of the representatives from the headquarters came there. This is quite clever. You have my smartphone? This is a smartphone cleaner. You peel it off, put it in the back of your smartphone, peel it off, and clean your screen. Who here's got a smartphone? There you go. Okay. Now the last thing, and this, for the likes of me, is invaluable. When I text, I don't do that. I do this and then erase it and correct it and everything else. This is I thought it was a pen.
Screen pen.
This is a pen. Well, take back the point, and what's on the end?
It's a smart screen.
So you can, who here text? So you say you text, you can use it. And you qualify because of your age.
Careful, John.
You people are terrible. It says right down here, in bold print, for ladies under 35.
Emily, would you join me up here, please?
One of these 3 numbers, Emily.
Do I understand
understand correctly, you're one of the workshop coordinators? Yes. Now, you've got a very difficult task.
Okay.
Yes.
It's gonna be a magic. It's a magic trick.
Phil is going to give you an opportunity to pick one of these numbers. 384, 385, 386, out of the hat.
I want 87, 88, or 89.
So pick one.
No pressure.
Now read the last 3 digits.
Don't look at his. Look at yours.
I'm looking at mine. 383.
Oh.